when I was younger and I was outside of the council, I thought decisions were made in a particular way because people had it against you, and that's coming from a resident perspective. But when you join Southwark and you see actually the work that they're trying to do, the ambition that they have, and also I'd even say the lengths that they go to be inclusive. And I don't think there's many boroughs maybe in the country that can have that, because I mean, we are in London, but Southwark itself, like I remember going to school and we had over 100 languages being spoken at school. And that's reflective of the streets and that's reflective of our residents. And so all of those things encapsulate what multiculturalism in Britain is right now.
Hello, I'm Toby Fox from 1.5 million new homes, the local government challenge, sponsored by Redloft and by Bouygues UK and Waits Residential and Mount Anvil and HTA Design. So we're visiting a different council every month to find out what works and what needs to change to get more homes built. This month, we're in the London Borough of Southwark. And one of the big challenges that councils are constantly saying is getting in the way of delivering new homes is capacity, the skills gap. So I thought I'd interview Martin Antelo about his pathway into public sector housing delivery. Hello, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi there, my name's Martin Antelo, and I work as assistant project manager for the Tustin Estate renewal.
Okay.
And some of the things that I do is essentially just support the team with coordinating all different types of, things with rehousing people.
Yep.
We've practically completed, so now we're also in the process of 12-month defects. Mm-hmm. And aside from that, just talking to the community regularly and making sure that they move to the homes that they move to, that it's appropriate for them, and also anything that we need to address with them, do it immediately. I attend meetings with our internal teams from Southwark. So that could be, for example, highways, that could be planning, and that could also be housing. Now, Southwark housing is huge, right? It is the largest local authority landlords, which means they have a lot of different teams. There's a lot of different structures. So even working with, for example, the lettings team, allocations, or working with the housing, what we call them resident service officers, that in itself is also has to be managed because of the amount of properties that we have, the amount of properties that we need to board up, and then sort of get them decommissioned for phase 2. But also about ensuring that residents' voice is being heard throughout the process of that rehousing. So, for example, some people will say, this is not appropriate to the needs of my family. And so because of that, we need to look for another solution. So things like that do happen, and that's what we're in here to do. The other thing is we liaise quite closely with Bouygues Development, so, and particularly because they're the main contractor. So any issues that we have with regards to any snagging or any defects, then we just liaise directly with them and get that resolved as soon as possible. Aside from that, I'd say is a lot of coordinating with different consultants.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is when we have to board up the properties, we've got a particular company that does that, or when we have to decommission the meters, also another company, or...
Well, like the gas meters,
electric meters, water meters. And I'd say, aside from that as well, the very important is our Southwark engineers team. So they do the sort of mechanical and electrical engineering, and they have to make sure everything's up to compliance because the buildings are being given to us now to look after and to plan the maintenance for. So that in itself is also requires a bit of time and a bit of coordination because those buildings will now be ours, and now we have to look after them in perpetuity from now on.
Fantastic. So we're standing here in a building that has been built by Bouygues as part of the Regeneration, the Tustin Estate, and we're looking down on the Tustin Estate. Yep. Tell us what's going to happen here. What's the scale of what's going on here? So
it is a 4-phase master plan. It is going to be approximately 700 homes. Aside from the housing, so we've got 700 homes, 200 replacement homes, but aside from that, there is going to be a brand new school. So we're going to there's a primary school in the middle of the whole estate, right? A new park, cycleways, and about like this whole There's a new street right here as well that we're going to be making as well. We have to adopt it.
Okay.
That also is another process.
Yeah.
But those are some of the things that are happening. So on phase, I should probably go phase by phase. Phase one's just been completed.
Yeah.
Phase two, we're going to have more affordable housing, so council housing.
Yeah.
We've put that forward. And then we're going to deliver some of the other affordable types of housing as well. Phase three is where we're going to have the new primary school and the new park.
Okay.
That's going to be in the center of the master plan. And then phase four is the one that's closest to the Old Kent Road. So that's got commercial shops at the bottom.
Yeah.
So that will sort of maintain that active frontage that we're going to have in the future. So essentially, sort of starting from the back and going all the way to the front of Old Kent Road.
So we're here on the balcony of one of the flats, one of the apartments, social housing in the Tustin Estate that you are helping to regenerate, Martin. And we're looking out at the City of London, at the Shard and the City of London from this kind of grand height. It all feels very grand, doesn't it? How do you feel about being involved in work like this?
Yeah. So I'm very privileged to be here. The way I started sort of my journey through regeneration is I actually lived in an estate called the Haygate Estate in Elephant and Castle over 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
And so that kind of allowed me to see what a housing estate was and also some of the changes that could happen and how it could become a more positive space. So that's sort of carried throughout. I went on to do university. I went to University of Westminster, did designing cities, planning and architecture. I then did my master's in UCL.
So you've always wanted to get involved.
I've always wanted to get involved. So it's and even then, getting involved in youth work and community work and just having that sort of community activism, I think, has been throughout. Like sort of wanting to sort of help people, wanting to give them a better chance. One of my main things as well is about people having better health and well-being. And so housing being that main driver for them to be able to achieve that, to have a long life, but also a long life without ill health, right? So that is one of the things that is a driver for me. But I've always wanted to do regeneration. I've always wanted to do it in Southwark. So being able to do it now is so good.
As a local lad.
As a local lad.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I really find that's kind of changed is when I was younger and I was outside of the council, I thought decisions were made in a particular way because people had it against you, and that's coming from a resident perspective. But when you join Southwark and you see actually the work that they're trying to do, the ambition that they have, and also I'd even say the lengths that they go to be inclusive. And I don't think there's many boroughs maybe in the country that can have that, because I mean, we are in London, but Southwark itself, like I remember going to school and we had over 100 languages being spoken at school. And that's reflective of the streets and that's reflective of our residents. And so all of those things encapsulate what multiculturalism in Britain is right now. And so because of that, being able to be part of this regeneration, it enables me to represent sort of my ethnic background as a Latin American person, and sort of coming from Elephant and Castle being the biggest hub of Latin Americans. And I think being a part of this kind of shows to my community that we belong here.
Yeah.
And that for me is extremely important with my work in Southwark. And so I take that and I say that with a lot of pride.
What would you say to someone looking from the outside and seeing the pride that you have in working in Southwark, in the work that you're doing for the people of Southwark? What would your advice be to them about getting a career going in public sector housing delivery?
Interesting. Start early. So get in through the first door that you can, whether it's in an apprenticeship, whether it's in a graduate role. So I'd say get in as early as you can. Definitely as well, ask people for mentoring and see if you can do a bit of a work placement. I think that always helps. I've got someone right now interested and I'm going to take them on as soon as I can.
How did they contact you? How did you
So they
find
contacted me through a friend who found out I was doing this work, and they're sort of a graduate and they said they wanted to be involved. I've done it before in my previous roles as well. When I was in planning, I taught someone as well how we deal with planning applications as well.
So is this just finding you on LinkedIn or getting your email address?
Finding me on LinkedIn, yeah, 100%. So you can reach out and I'm happy to either try to take you around or even show you the bits that we do.
Are you ready to be inundated?
I'm ready. So, but do you know what? Getting into public delivery housing, right? And this is where I think it's very difficult, actually. So I graduated from uni. I then went on to sort of do planning at first. So I did that for 3.5 years, which was fantastic. And I felt like I'm having a say in so many different things, but I felt like I wasn't delivering. I felt like some of the schemes that I'm working on, I don't know if they're being delivered the way that we want them to. And so because of that, when I saw this opportunity to work here, I really wanted to be involved because I wanted to be delivering and saying, look, we've done this, we've achieved this, right? So that was the main reason why I moved into this sort of public delivery housing. Now, I don't think there are many entries into this. And I think that it's not that people don't want to do this work. They definitely want to do this work. It's just they can't find a way to navigate into it. And I know there's a scheme called Future of London where they've got graduates, and one of my good friends of mine, he did that scheme and he was telling me to get involved. But apart from that, it's not that simple.
The Local Government Association runs a thing called Pathways to Planning as well.
There we go.
So there are some routes in there.
From planning, for example, a lot of this work is after we get the planning. So even for me, transitioning from having a background in planning and then moving into doing this sort of project management, project delivery, is very different. And so you have to adapt quite quickly. And I mean, personally, I love it, but I think it is a big challenge. But the main things that drive me have always been sort of that resident participation. And so that's been very strong in this project. And I'm happy that I've been allowed to be involved in that as well. But
sounds like you've landed in exactly the right place at exactly the right time, and you're the right man for the job. So, Martin, thank you very much for your role in 1.5 million new homes.
Thank you so much.
And that's it for another episode of 1.5 million new homes, the Local Government Challenge, sponsored by Bouygues UK and Waits Residential and Mount Anvil and HTA Design and Redloft. We are going to be back in just a few days, but not with the London Borough of Southwark. It's all over for London Borough of Southwark. We're going to be back in a few days with the London Legacy Development Corporation. Hit like and subscribe, and you won't miss those episodes. Look forward to seeing you.